Game Freak made a mono ghost competition on Battle Stadium singles, but then they forgot that they needed to put it out before Halloween. So we're playing a mono ghost competition, but Halloween is over. Alright, I do like these kind of competitions because they're a little more restricted and you can get I think I want to go with I don't know what I want to go with last. I'm going to go with Skeletor's last. And we'll call that good. You can have a lot more fun in restricted metagames because, for instance, in this one, everybody's a ghost type. And because everybody's a ghost type, certain parameters change. For example, why would I run a ghost move? Because it's super effective against everybody. So ghost stab becomes really valuable, but of course everybody has it, so it's nothing to write home about. However, how do you play around that? So I've got a Hisuian Zoroark on this team. Zoroark will be immune to the ghost type moves coming out against me, and my opponent always has to guess, am I Zoroark? Am I the Pokemon that's in front of me that it is weak to Shadow Ball? And so that's a really big help. We have Frostlass as a lead. I don't know how many times I'm going to bring it, but it is often a useful lead because it has spikes and you can break Focus Ashes that way. And Focus Ash is a really useful item in this metagame. Speaking of Focus Ash, we have one on our Dragapult who has the ability to... what am I trying to say? We have Dragapult who also has Dragon Darts. Alright, so here I'm going to U-turn. I could trick the Mimikyu, but then I lose a lot of my power. And I think that if I go hard into my Skeletor, that should be okay. This will bust the disguise. And at the very least, by busting the disguise, even if my Skeletor goes down to a Shadow Claw crit into Shadow Claw, that's okay because I can still come back. And Shadow Sneak doesn't affect Zoroark, and I can just throw off the Shadow Ball. Now, I'm assuming that a lot of Mimikyu's Trailblaze heal. I thought I did a good chunk. It's Life Orb. I think most Mimikyu are Life Orb. I got my leftovers, so we'll heal back most of that damage anyway. Here, I'm going to... Do I want to Terastallize this early? I sort of do. And I'll just Will-O-Wisp. This will help me not take super effective damage from Shadow Claw. Of course, that does allow them to play rough me. But I think this should be okay. Oh, actually, no. Because I'm Terra Steel on this. I used to be Terra Fairy, but I think that Terra Steel is probably better. Okay, good, we land, so now I can just slack off. With Terra Steel, because specifically of Fluttermane, I don't want to have to deal with that nonsense. And so this will let us not be weak to Shadow Ball, and then we can also resist the Moonblast still, which I think is really important. Okay, so we're going to slack off here because we got to stay healthy. And if my opponent decides to waste a turn going for Swords Dance, that'd be great. I hate to Terastallize so early, but I don't think I really need the Terra on Zoroark. They do go Dragapult here, which is an interesting play. I am max Spadef on this, so if they go for a fire move, I think we should be okay. I'm just going to Shadow Ball here and see what they want to go for. They go for U-turn, which is an unfortunate play for them because it doesn't get them anything. Because, as I was saying at the beginning of this video, all the guys are ghost types, every single one. So no matter what they go into, they're going to take super effective damage from Shadow Ball. And it looks like, now that we know what my opponent's team is, that they're just going to have a bad time. At this point, I can just spam Shadow Ball. Unless they're Terra Normal, we should be okay. In fact, in case they are Terra Normal, I'm just going to throw off a random Torch Song. The only way this doesn't get us something is if they go hard back into Dragapult. But they just go for Shadow Ball. That's okay. Let's see how much we take. A good chunk, but like I said before, we are max Spadef on this set, again for the Flutter Mane, so we take not too much. I mean, we're max Spadef not just for the Flutter Mane though, it's just that generally speaking there are a lot of special attacking ghost types, and so this gives us a good spread, even though I did bring it in against the Mimikyu, but the Mimikyu isn't going to do much to this anyway. Maybe Drain Punch is the only thing it can do. And here I'm going to slack off, I just want to see what they do. Okay, yeah, then forfeit. Nice. So Skeledirge wins this game 1. Skeledirge is a really important Pokemon for these teams. Just like Zoroark allows you to bluff every single turn, whether you can even use the Ghost type move into me, Skeledirge means that you can't get swept by setup sweepers, which is really important. Alright. Now we found a team that is a lot scarier. So we can see here that we got the Zoroark, we got the Mimikyu, we got the Flutter Mane, got all the scary guys. The only guy on here that I see that's not that isn't here that I think that might be broken is Giratina. Just because Giratina has that crazy base stat. I'm gonna lead off with Dragapult this time and have Zoroark. And then here, I think Skeledirge is less useful, maybe? But it's hard to say. Maybe Mimikyu in the back. I think that might be okay. I'm just worried about the fish. Because Last Respects could be super annoying. So having Mimikyu to be able to tank any one hit, I think is pretty good. And the nice thing about my Dragapult set is that I am Focus Sash, so if they lead off with the Flutter Mane, then I should be able to... Well, actually, I guess I'm not really okay because I'm not Phantom Force on this set. I am... I'm Shadow Ball. Let's see here. What do we want to go for? I'm gonna do a quick calc off the side here. Flutter Mane at level 50. I should outspeed them because I am max speed. I'm just going to U-turn here. That'll allow us to see if this is Flutter Mane. If it's Choice Scarf, we'll find that out too. As that was not Flutter Mane, that was Zoroark. And that was not Choice Scarf Zoroark, so we're good. And then here, I will go into the Zoroark of my own. A bit of a risky play. They may have gone for U-turn as well, but who knows? We go for Dark Pulse, which is smart. So that means that my Zoroark goes down, which is okay though. I don't think that's that big of a deal. I'm gonna go back into my Dragapult here. Now that we know this is the Zoroark. They may want to switch out now that their disguise is busted, but I also can know who it is based on the fact that I've taken HP from it. They just Shadow Sneak to break Focus Sash, which is smart. So they weren't choiced in any way. And we'll take them out with Dragon Darts. Now that I've shown that I'm physical, they may want to go Flutter Mane. That makes a lot of sense to me. But we got rid of the Zoroark, which is a fast boy. And now, unless they are Choice Scarf on this, or Booster Speed, which I guess they could be. Yeah, they are Booster Speed. So here I'm going to Sucker Punch, just to get off as much damage as possible. That does a good chunk. They just Moonblast there. Now they know what I have in the back already, which is Mimikyu, because we disguised the Zoroark as Mimikyu. It's the same reason that I knew that they had the Flutter Mane, because they disguised the Zoroark as it. Curious. Does Shadow Sneak kill? Mimikyu, Flutter Mane, Shadow Sneak definitely kills. We can see if they Terrastallize here, but they may not. And this is really the power of Mimikyu in Battle Stadium singles. you get a free hit. It's a focus sash, but it's guaranteed focus sash with, you know, the exception of Mold Breaker. So I figured this would be the last guy they had. My Mimikyu is a normal Terra type. So I think I want to save that for the last turn. But I don't know. And then we see that I outspeed. They swing the light ball, which is annoying because now I'm paralyzed. So now, if I look at Mimikyu versus Mimikyu, something, I'll just go against my own set here. Shadow Sneak does 72 to 86%. I'm going to Terra Play Rough here. Now if they go for their own Terra Normal, then I don't want to Shadow Sneak no matter what, right? As they are Terra Normal. And so they're probably banking on me being slower than them and then just going for the Play Rough. So the Fling combo is actually really cool. That's not something I've seen yet. I practiced with this team a while ago, but it was not on the proper ladder on Showdown. They just play rough there. And they actually miss out on the KO. And I KO them because I'm Life Orb. So that's crazy cow. So they have a really cool set here with the Fling, right? But it doesn't KO me. And so, unless I'm mistaken, I should win this battle because they KO'd first. And I died to recoil. Let's just double check. Yeah, I won. Okay, so that was a really good game there. It was Mimikyu versus Mimikyu, which I think a lot of these games are going to come down to. They got the play right with the Dark Pulse, so clearly my opponent knew what they were doing here. The Flutter Mane, I think, is a stupidly scary mon in this, and it's really only held back by its incredible physical frailty. A part of me said I wanted to Terra Dark on my Dragapult with a Sucker Punch to boost that up on the Flutter Mane, but I'm glad I didn't because I really needed my Terra Normal on the Mimikyu. Well, I mean, I guess technically I didn't because they play roughed, knowing that I would. But I would have been mad if I had gotten Shadow Sneaked. Alright, now this opponent looks a little bit less serious because they've led off with a bunch of guys that are not... that are not meta, I think, is the right way to put that. I'm going to lead off with Dragapult and Zoroark and the Mimikyu. I think that's right. I thought I was going to use Frostlass a lot more. And like I said, I was testing before. And I was testing on just the normal Battle Stadium singles ladder on Showdown. And I was using Frostlass as a lead a lot. But in this metagame, I don't really see the benefit of it as much. I also haven't run into any Focus Sash users. Or maybe the Flutter Mane was Focus Sash and I just busted Sash. I don't know. But the Frostlass isn't coming out, which is a bit surprising to me. Gengar here. Cannot kill me because I am Focus Sash. And so I don't want to go for a Trick or a Sucker Punch in case they go for Trick or Will-O-Wisp or something like that. If the choice Scarf, they can Dazzling Gleam, or they can Shadow Ball or Dark Pulse or whatever they want to do. But unless the Terra Fairy turn 1, then this Dragon Dart should just take them out, I'm pretty sure. Gengar does not have good physical build. And actually, I stand corrected. Gengar does apparently live this. As they go for Hypnosis. I wasn't expecting that. Alright. No, that's unfortunate. I'll just stay in. Oh, my Dragon Dart's is disabled. It's not like I'm gonna get anything off this turn anyway. The Dream Eater or something nonsense like that? Yeah, they are Dream Eater. That's sort of cute, I guess. Now, the problem with that is that if I wake up this turn, then they're dead anyway. I wonder if I'd Shadow Balled if that would have just killed. But I also would have expected them to be Focus Sash lead. Let's just quickly do that for my own edification. Gengar here. Let's hit our UU Hex. And then put them back down to level 50. Dragon Darts, that's a roll, apparently. It does 90 to 108 to 0 HP, 0 defense. And Shadow Ball would not have killed them at all, because I have no bolt. So... I'm just gonna Sucker Punch here, because I expect them to Shadow Sneak. Ooh, they actually Terra. Okay. I know what their Terra is gonna be. I'm okay with them Terraing here. They Terra Grass, which means they'll remove their weakness. I think that makes a lot of sense for my opponent. Now we just Sucker Punch. Get off a decent chunk of damage. We go for Spirit Shackle, and that'll KO me, no problem. If I had gone for U-turn there, that would have been catastrophic for my opponent. Although I probably would have gone for U-turn into Mimikyu, not... Maybe, I don't know. Because when they Terra Grass, I would have thought maybe they'd go for a Grass move. I don't want to waste this. Alright, here, we're just going to go for the... let's see. Which one does more damage, I think? Probably Choice Specs Shadow Ball if I had to guess. Decidueye, and use Sword Stance, Terra Grass at level 50. And the Shadow Ball definitely does more damage. So we'll just go for that. Okay, yeah, and that actually kills them. I think that might have also been a roll. This one here is 0-0. It says it does 65 to 77. So I'm not sure exactly where they were at. Alright, and now I should be safe here. Typhlosion is probably Choice Scarfed, but if it's not, that's okay, because I still do have Mimikyu in the back. And that's, I think, the big problem with Battle Stadium singles. It's not a bad mode, per se, but people get really mad at Smogon for banning a lot of Pokemon that they like. And they say, if I can go online to Wi-Fi, I can use just about anything. But that's not really true. First of all, you can't use Mythicals on here, most of the time. And even when you can, there are so few Pokemon that are actually good in any particular metagame. There are certain Pokemon that are just super centralized, and you only get 3 Pokemon. Oh, this one is fine. You only get 3 Pokemon to use. You only get level 50, which I don't know how much that matters. It's just a lot different of a metagame. It's like how different 1v1 is versus 6v6. And the fact that all Pokemon are legal means that certain ones are just going to be that much stronger. Alright, like Fluttermane right here. That forces me to take Fluttermane into consideration at every given point in turn. I'm going to play it the same way as I did before with Dragapult and Mimikyu and Zoroark. Skeledirge did pretty well game 1, but I'm finding having a Focus Sash and being able to threaten breaking Focus Sash is a lot more useful than... I don't think this is the same guy as before. I'm finding it's a lot more useful than going with throwing up spikes to deal damage. Sableye is another one that's interestingly not that useful. I could lead off with Sableye, go for Prankster, Prankster, Thunderwave. I have Thunderwave on this one, not Will-O-Wisp. And look at how many special attackers we have. There are a lot of Golden Goes running around. I think that makes sense. You don't want to get Sableye. And Sableye does have Knock Off and Shadow Sneak, but you can probably tear it out of that no problem, and then your opponent's in a bad position. So Sableye doesn't seem to be doing too much in a Mono Ghost metagame. So learning a lot here. Don't know how transferable the skill set that I'm learning is, but that's interesting. Alright, ooh, we're in a different room this time. We lead off with potentially Golden Go. Here I'm going to U-turn. Again, scouting for the Zoroark. I think that there's probably a lot of people that want to lead off with Zoroark. And this is almost certainly Zoroark, seeing as how much damage it took. I could have just Dragon Darts there, but I think that's not the correct play. And once again, I will just sack my own. My own Zoroark is not choice scarfed, so it doesn't have the extra speed it might need. We go for knockoff here, and that kills as well. That's okay. So my Zoroark is just ending up as the sack most of the time, I feel. It's a little bit unfortunate. But I am glad to see that this Dragapult is doing a good amount of work. Now, against Zoroark Hisui, against my custom set, how does Dragapult fare? Sucker Punch does 80. I'll Sucker Punch here. Because they could Shadow Sneak here, trying to break my Focus Sash. And if I Sucker Punch them, then they don't break my Focus Sash. And that was a mistake I made in the previous game. Because now what I can do is I can actually stay in versus the Flutter Mane. Or against the Golden Go, that works too. Golden Go. Let's say it's choice specs. I don't heckin' know. Level 50. Shadow Ball appears to be a 2-hit KO against 0 bulk. So we're gonna go for that. Like I said before, I am uninvested. Let's see if there's something like Choice Scarf, Terra Normal, or something weird. They do appear to be... Oh, that's Terra Electric. Well, okay. Terra Electric is cute. I don't know what that gets you. Shadow Ball here. I wonder why they are Terra Electric. It's very curious. Ooh, I got a Spadef drop, which doesn't really do that much for me, I don't think. Moringa? Wait, what? A Moringa Berry. I was not expecting that. Here I'm gonna Dragon Darts. They may have gone for Thunder Wave because 1, it's a good move to go for, and 2, because it's a move that can't be Sucker Punched. And this looks like a very bulky set. So I'm just going to continue to Dragon Darts, as they're probably going to recover spam and try to get a Thunder Wave Parahax. Yep, recover spam. So let's look at this set. Is this max? As we do get a full para, which is unfortunate. They nasty plot here. They do know I have Sucker Punch, so they aren't going to want to attack. I don't think, at least. Yeah, I think just spam recover. It's a pretty unfortunate strategy to have to run into. I think this is max bold. Okay. You know what's funny is I actually had Facade on my Mimikyu. But, what you gonna do? Alright, Dragon Darts again. Now, if they are PP maxed, that could be an issue because I am not PP maxed. I didn't think I'd be running into stall on the ladder. But fortunately, we are going to force them at least to use their recovers if we can break through enough times. Because we are doing, you know, a good 30% or 40%. And so they can get off a nasty plot every now and again. Yeah, it's like 30%. Yeah, but they are spamming the recover, which I don't know if I like that particular recover. I think that they have command of the board, and they don't really have to worry about a crit in that position. But I will definitely accept them spamming recover here. I think that's a really good play for me because they aren't at 50% yet, so they're wasting HP on their particular set. Now that I think about it, what is this set? Thunderwave, Nasty Plot, Recover, and what? Okay, so there's the full pair that they were probably waiting for. So they are just Mono Thunderbolt. And I have the focus sash. That's a crit. I don't know if the crit really matters, to be honest. Probably gonna get full paralyzed here. Yep. I'm gonna Dragon Darts one more time here, which I guess is not the right play. And now Mimikyu comes out. And play rough at +2 is not enough to kill. But I think I have to go for it. Assuming that they're max, this is a bit of an issue here. So I have to Swords Dance turn 1, I'll outspeed them. They can go for Thunderbolt or they can go for Thunder Wave. If they go for Thunderbolt, which I think is the correct play, then I have to hope for a crit. If they went for Thunder Wave, then I would be able to still have my disguise and then go for Play Rough into Shadow Sneak. But they do make the correct play, and since I'm not Terra Fairy, then this is just an L right here. Yeah, and look at that, they're max bold. So that's a pretty disgusting set that my opponent had cooked up there. If I had a boosting move on my Dragapult, maybe I could have done something there. But as such as it is, that's, I think, a higher level strategy that I was not prepared for. Now, I say I wasn't prepared for it, but I suppose I did have my Skeledirge, which I could have used, and I would have unaware max Spadef, so that would have definitely broken through it. Alright, here, let's lead off with Dragapult, and then we'll have Skeledirge, because we don't want to lose to that again. And the Mimikyu. Having the Zoroark probably is a big enough of a threat as is. But here, because they don't have a Mimikyu of their own, I think no matter what they lead, or Fluttermane, they don't have Mimikyu or Fluttermane, I think I'm going to just throw off a Dragon Darts turn 1. Because I think they should have the Zoroark as a lead. And the Dragon Darts does have a chance to KO. Whereas nothing the Zoroark goes for can kill me, because I am Focus Sash. Alright, we finally get the game started. They lead off with their own Dragapult. So it's pretty unambiguously Dragapult versus Dragapult as a lead. It could technically be Zoroark here, and they could have Dragon Darts of their own, but I'm going to risk the Speed Tie turn 1. It might not even be a Speed Tie. Now we just get the turn 1 KO. So, again, I don't know if that was a Speed Tie, that could have been Adamant, but we take those, and I said my strategy, turn 1, lead Dragapult, click Dragon Darts, because they have no Fairy type on their team. I think that's a really bad team builder problem. I think you need to have that immunity. So I don't know why so many people are running Chandelure. I'd be interested to know if that has some particular strategy specific for this. I know we've seen a lot of Chandelures in Team Preview. I've never seen one brought. I think that the Chandelure doesn't really bring much in terms of like what, Flash Fire, so that you can come in and resist Torch Song? Maybe is what they're doing there? I don't know. Gonna click. I don't have Zoroark this time on my own. I'm just gonna stay in and click Shadow Ball. I don't know if they are gonna Will-O-Wisp me or what. But at this point, they don't have a Ghost immunity. Oh, they're Sing. Man. I hate Sleep so much. Sleep is a really annoying status, just generally speaking, because you never know what it's going to do in the end. Paralysis is sort of similar to that, and so is Confusion, which I don't like Confusion either. I don't think most people do. But Paralysis, I think the main thing you're going for there is the speed reduction. The best status is really just R, Burn, and Poison, because those two are consistent. You always know what you're going to get out of them. But fortunately, we've been getting really lucky with the Sleep today. We get both first turn wakes. And that's the reason why I don't like it on either side of the spectrum. It's not that I just hate it, I just hate it on both sides. This one makes a lot more sense than what the Gengar was trying to do. The Gengar had the Dream Eater combo, which wasn't getting you much mileage. This makes a lot of sense. You want to run Hex because it's a mono ghost tier. And Sing is also okay because then it puts the potential Zoroark to sleep, and then you Hex it, find out it's the Zoroark, and then you can go from there. Still not ideal, but Sing is not bad, I think, from that perspective. So they're going to Terastallize here. I'm guessing this is Terra Normal. It could also be Terra Dark. No, it's Terra Fire. Yeah, Terra Fire, I guess, is a fine neutral ability, or neutral nature. Nature? What am I saying? We got a spit up drop first of all. So let's see if this kills. Ooh, no, not quite, but almost. Dragon Bolt. I'm gonna Dragon Darts here just because I have more attack investment, and I don't know what their investment is like, but... Oh, look, we got a crit. Nice. I will take it. We gotten pretty lucky in this game. First turn wake, got that crit even though it wasn't gonna kill. I don't really think they could have gotten too much out of that position, because what they had to do is they had to go for another Sing, hope they hit a 60% accurate move, and go for Slack Off. Hope I didn't wake up in turn 2 and go for the same thing again. Really, I just think that overall that they were in a bad position there, and my opponent just forfeits there, which is okay with me. Okay. Now this opponent has all of the scary threats plus a random Dusknoir. Vascular Legion makes a lot of sense. You got Last Respects, right? I think I have to bring Mimikyu in this game. Frankly, you never don't bring Mimikyu. Here I'm gonna lead off with the Zoroark, maybe? I don't know how I like Zoroark as a lead. These fairy types are really annoying. Not gonna lie. And then maybe Dragapult or Skeletridge in the back, because it'll deal with both the Fluttermane and the Mimikyu to an extent. And if they have Vascular Legion, hopefully we find that out, and then I can Terra Normal my Mimikyu, and I should be okay, I think. But it's tricky. That's a really cool trainer card. I'm assuming they just went and took a photo of the billboards. Okay. So here they lead off with Dragapult, and if we see Booster Energy, then we can assume that it is. If we don't see Booster Energy, then I'm going to Dragon Darts here. The risky play, but because we don't see Booster Energy, then it's certainly Zoroark. That's a really low roll or something. I don't know. This maybe has some more bulk to it. Okay. As they were Citrus Berry, they go for Knockoff. And here, now that I was Focus Sash, I am going to go for the Sucker Punch. Again, because we want to avoid the Shadow Sneak. So we make it out against the Dragapult, which is good. They now know I have the Sucker Punch. So if they have a Speed Fluttermane, they can go into that, and then they can maybe set up or something. But we'll see. First of all, it has to be Speed. I think the Booster Energy is a big problem when you're trying to disguise it as such. Because I get it, you're trying to make it so your opponent doesn't want to go. Do they outplay this? Yes, they do. Cool, I guess. There's the Thunder Wave there, which actually means that well, this turn just go for Shadow Ball. We can just get off damage. Assuming we break through, right? Now we're paralyzed, and we get off the Shadow Ball. Thank goodness. Okay. So now that we've gotten that damage off, then we should be good to go. I'm just going to Sucker Punch again here. We get full paralyzed here. Unfortunate. But we do have the Mimikyu. Ooh, in prison. Okay. Now I can go for a slow U-turn here, which is sort of a funny thing. I don't think you have Shadow Sneak. If I'd gone for Sucker Punch there, they would have died. But that's okay, because I have the Mimikyu. Neither of us have Terastallized. Oop, I almost went into the wrong mon. We have the Mimikyu. Here I can just go for the play rough, I think. I would rather go for the play rough in case they go for the Terra normal. We unfortunately do get Thunderwaved there as a result. I could have just Shadow Sneaked, but I'm sort of getting paranoid here, and we get full paralyzed. So that's unfortunate. We will just Shadow Sneak now. Technically, I could go for a Sword Stance, but I think that's okay. And I get full paralyzed again. So we're getting really unfortunate in this game. We did bring the Skeledirge, so if they have Mimikyu in the back, we should be okay. But if we don't break through here, we will not be okay. We do break through, finally. And so they'll bring out their Mimikyu in the back, or at least what I'm assuming to be Mimikyu in the back. If they bring out their Bascu Legion, then I think I want to Terra Normal. They just have Dragapult in the back. Which actually is pretty okay for me. Because I'm Terra Steel. And so that'll resist the dragon. They're a Terra Ground. I do not know what the heck that means. What does Terra Ground mean? Break their Focus Sash potentially. And then they go for Dragon Dance. But we do have the Mimikyu, and not the Mimikyu, the Unaware in the back. I wonder if they're Terra Ground specifically to deal with Skeledirge. If I were Terra Fairy though, then that wouldn't really help you. And I've saved my Terra. Okay, they do have Terra Blast. But even though we're max HP, we're max HP, right? So let's Dragapult. Let's say it's my custom set versus my Skeledirge, and here, Ground, Terra Ground, Terra Blast. Terra Blast does 62%. And then Torch Song is 38 to 46. So I think I should be okay here to just Torch Song or Shadow Ball. That is the same difference. And we'll see. If they get a crit, then that's a problem. If they... Yeah, see, that is about what I was expecting. And then if we go from here... Oh man, I didn't get the roll. Okay. So we lose there because we didn't get the roll, and we got paralyzed a whole bunch. But if I had gone just for the... Oh wow. If I had gone for the Terra there, I might have lived. I was expecting them to just Terra Ground again. Sort of funny. If I hadn't gotten Thunderwave there, then I might have had a better chance. But also, if I had just gone for Shadow Sneak on the Flutter Mane, I would have had a better chance too. Alright, now we have another Flutter Mane, Zoroark, Mimikyu team. They have a Spirit Tomb, whereas I have a Sableye, which is fun, I guess. We'll lead off with Dragapult. We're going to play the same way as we did last time. They don't have a Dragapult of their own, or a Golden Go, so I don't think I need the Skeledirge. I think I'm going to go with the Zoroark and Mimikyu combo, and hopefully that'll work. Alright, let's see, they lead off with the Gengar. This could be Choice Scarf, I don't know. We're just going to do the same thing we've always done, which is just Dragon Darts as a lead. I really do like this Focus Sash Dragon Darts lead. It takes away a lot of the guesswork. And in this particular instance, because they didn't even lead as a Fairy type, I know that no matter what, I'm going to hit this Pokemon. Technically, they could switch, but Battle Stadium singles discourages you from switching because you only have 3 Pokemon. In a format like this, discourages you from switching tremendously because really, what Ghost type is switching into a Ghost type is not an easy thing to do. So let's see if we can get the roll. If it is a roll on this Gengar, we do not. Once again, it's about the same as we got the first time. They go with Toxic Spikes, which I can maybe respect. I don't know what it gets you, but sure. And we'll just Shadow Ball here. Part of me says that maybe I should U-turn, but I don't think I like that idea too much. The only reason I think U-turn might be an okay play here is just because I would like to have my Dragon Darts available to me. But no matter what they go into here, I think I will go for the U-turn. They may want to go into Zoroark after this, since they know that my Dragon Darts is disabled. They know I have Shadow Ball. They go into Spiritomb, which I will U-turn on that as well. Spiritomb is an interesting switch-in because it has a bit more of an offensive presence than the Sableye would. Now, if they want to start setting up Calm Minds and whatever nonsense, then I'm okay with that to a point. Obviously, I have to U-turn here first, but then from there I can go into my Hisuian Zoroark, which does have the trick, and then I can stop them from setting up further. And if they're physical, then they'll be okay. Sucker Punch there. Choose like whatever. I think I'm going to maybe actually just go into my Mimikyu, act like my real Mimikyu, because I have the type matchup and you've taken a good chunk of damage. I get poisoned, but everything on my team is going to get poisoned at this rate, so there's nothing I can do about that. If they have like Terra Steel or something, then I think that's not the end of the world, because then they've busted their Terra, and then I can go into my Hisuian Zoroark, I suppose, and deal with it at that point. But at the same time, I would prefer for them to just sack this to play rough. So we get out of there okay. That is the big downside to Spiritomb, and the main reason why I didn't really think it was important. Sableye has utility tools, so even though it isn't threatening offensively at all, it does have the ability to Encore, Thunder Wave, things like that. Whereas Spiritomb is going to be weak to Mimikyu, which is going to be like on all the teams. Yeah, I'm going to Terra Normal. No, I'm not going to Terra Normal. I'm going to Shadow Sneak here. I just want to scout out and see what they're going to do. They could go for Wave Crash, but I'm guessing all the Basque Legions are trying to go for Last Respects. If they have Last Respects, they're probably Terra Ghost. Even if they're not, if they're choiced in some fashion, then I should be able to Sucker Punch them. I have a Zoroark in the back. I have Terra Normal on this. Last Respects cannot win them this game. So it looks like they are Terra Normal on their Basque Legion, which is why I could have played rough. But as we saw in the last game, going for the Terra Normal prediction didn't work out for me. Okay. Oh, so apparently they are Substitute. So I'm very glad I scouted for that. Also, why is their Substitute hovering? Would somebody care to explain that? I know the fish is hovering, but the... why is the Substitute hovering? If the Substitute is just a doll, then it shouldn't hover. It should just sit there. I don't understand this. Also, I don't understand why, when a terrestrialized Pokemon is substituted, they still keep the same setup there with like the lights dimmed. And the lights dimming makes this all pop, and that makes sense. But Alright, so what I want to do now is I want to trick this, because they may want to go for Substitute. If they go for Wave Crash, they'll kill themselves. I'm not gonna lie, I sort of forgot about the Mold Breaker busting through Mimikyu. But that's okay, I think. Mystic Water, so they are definitely Wave Crash. Fortunately, my opponent's not paying attention either. And so they forget that I could have Hisuian Zoroark and that they already did damage to my Dragapult and knew that it was a Dragapult. So this is good for me, because now they can't do any damage to me, and now I can use Dark Pulse for free. Alright. Interesting delve into Battle Stadium singles. Every once in a while, expect one of these kinds of videos. Like I said, I really like when you have these really restricted metagames. You may remember that last game, they had the Pikachu, the Mono Pikachu with Pikachu, Raichu, and Pichu, and I really enjoyed that one a lot. I think that was one of the most fun I've ever had with metagames like this. Mono Ghost, that's pretty fun too. I do think it's a little bit centralizing with some of the best mons in the game, like Fluttermane, Mimikyu, Golden Go. But Dragapult, I suppose, to an extent as well. But at the same time, at least then you know these are the mons we're working with. And for a one-off kind of competition, that's sort of fun. But that'll be it for me today. I will catch you guys next time.